Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel. So today we're going to talk about all of a sudden we are now seeing childhood Alzheimer's or dementia. Now, all of a sudden it's going to be a short series I'm going to run on this channel, the Angry Truth channel, where we're going to talk about certain things that are popping up out of the blue. Today we're talking about childhood Alzheimer's. So guys, we are starting to see more and more reports or articles on childhood Alzheimer's. Now, we all know what started this and what caused this, because it was something that was introduced to us 2 years ago, if not almost 3 now. Shit, man. Almost 2 years ago, right. So, 2 years ago, this thing was introduced to us. We all know what the fuck it was. And now we're seeing an increase in kids developing childhood Alzheimer's. I researched it and I couldn't get a pinpoint as to when it was first diagnosed or when it was first discovered. Adult Alzheimer's was discovered in 1906. Now they saw problems or they saw symptoms of Alzheimer's before that. I think it was like 1888 or something like that is when they first noticed it. There was a full discovery in, I think, 1906. That's adult Alzheimer's. As far as childhood Alzheimer's is actually not childhood Alzheimer or dementia. It's also known as Niemann-Pick type C. So Niemann-Pick type C is like a genetic issue, if I'm not mistaken. And it's something that was discovered, again, they don't say when. But when it was discovered, it affected very few kids. Like very few. It was actually super rare. But nonetheless, they did see it. Now, this super rare is being seen more often now. Now, if you look up these articles on childhood Alzheimer's or Niemann-Pick type C, if you see that, you'll start seeing articles as early as 2021. I think, if I'm not mistaken, April or May of 2021 was the first article I started noticing, and now we're in 2023, and there are more articles throughout 2022. So, guys, again, something that we are seeing because the introduction of what we know what it is, arm ticket, right? So now, guys, they're trying to sit there and blame everything else under the sun for this issue and telling us it's not that. But we don't know what it is, but it's definitely not that. So how can you tell us you don't know what it is, but you know for sure it's not the arm ticket? This is what makes no sense, because yes, you can blame technology. You can blame stresses in the environment. You can blame the environment itself. There's a lot of new chemicals floating in the air now, guys. And I don't want to get into that conspiracy fucking tunnel, because that's another fucking direction we can go in. There's a lot more shit being made, a lot more shit being burned off into the atmosphere by a lot of chemical companies. You can blame that as well. But the uptick, the fucking straight shot shoot up of this childhood Alzheimer's started probably about 1.5 years ago. So what was released 2 years ago, and now we're seeing this 1.5 years ago, we're starting to see the uptick then. I'm not a smart man, and I suck at math like you wouldn't believe, but I'm not an idiot, and I can figure this one out. Most of us can figure this out. So what to do about that if you run into that? Supposedly they have treatment for kids for these symptoms that rival or are very similar to Alzheimer's or dementia, and it can slow it down, but it can't reverse it, sort of like adults. The problem with kids, though, is that if it starts with kids, I don't know if it's as bad as adults, and I don't know if it can be reversed. They did say that that it could slow it down or stop it. That's what it was, but they didn't say reverse it. So I don't know if there's a loss after it stopped. Whereas adults, they can slow it down for us, and we can slow it down for ourselves, actually. We don't need the FDA-approved bullshit. We can slow it down on our own with a lot of things that you can do now. Start eating a certain way, drop sugar, all this other shit. You know that you're prone to get Alzheimer's. You can do a few things to slow it down to a crawl if you do certain diets. One of them is the keto diet, as they were talking about, which they found out in a study, I think last year, 2 years ago, can help slow down the progress of Alzheimer's, right? Sugar is another one. Reason why? Because they're starting to look at Alzheimer's as type 3 diabetes. You can look that up. There's a lot of interesting information to read on the type 3 diabetes, aka Alzheimer's and or dementia. So look that up if you can. But back to the kids, guys. They're going to play us as stupid. Now, I am going to do another All of a Sudden series. We're also learning about stroke now. There's something called stroke season. I, in a million years, would have never fucking thought they would use stroke season as a thing, trying to make us believe, well, because people get the flu and it affects their brain, so they stroke out. Since the fuck when? I don't know. But listen, here's the problem, guys. Not the problem. Here's the thing. There's so many stupid people out there that the media, politicians, the elites, they know this. They know their percentage of stupids, right? So the percentage of stupids is like 80% or 79% or something like that. That's the percentage of stupids, the people that they can control. The 20% of us, 21% of us, we're the problem. So the fact that they have to fight with the 20% of us still to this day, and the 20% of us are proving them wrong, and we're proving ourselves right by a lot of this shit that we're pointing out ahead of time and going, look, if you do this, this is going to happen. And guess what? It happens. We're watching stroke, heart attacks, and rare diseases become more common. Were we wrong? Not anymore. But anyway, they don't want to hear that shit. They want to displace our voice as much as they possibly can. And guys, how could anyone believe in anything that's being said on TV anymore? You really can't. When the FDA opens its mouth, they're like, well, it's FDA approved. That means nothing to me. When people tell me a medicine or something is FDA approved, that means dick to me. We watched what the FDA did 2 years ago. That means nothing to me now. And the fact that the FDA doesn't want to approve vitamins and homeopathic remedies, that speaks volume. They rather go with chemical medicine than homeopathic medicines. That speaks volumes. Anyway, guys, with that, we're going to see more children being diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia. That's going to rise over the next, couple of years. I'm going to dive into strokes as well. That's going to be another video on its own. And then I'm going to dive into cardiac issue. That's going to be another video on its own. Like I said, this is going to be called the All of a Sudden series. Because all of a sudden, they're trying to normalize dementia, stroke, and cardiac problems. Anyway, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel.